Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into one of those really intriguing questions. The kind that's fueled countless stories, songs, and let's be honest, probably a few late-night chats among friends. Why do some of us find ourselves powerfully drawn to the allure of the big bad wolf when, well, every fairy tale pushes us towards Prince Charming?
It is a fascinating human paradox, isn't it, really? On the surface, it seems entirely counterintuitive. But this isn't just about, casual observations. This deep dive is going to try and unravel the complex interplay of psychological, evolutionary, and sociocultural factors, things that really help explain this recurring and often perplexing preference.
Absolutely. And let's forget the myths for just a moment. Our mission today is to dig into the research from social psychology, evolutionary biology, even anthropology, to understand why that hint of danger, that intense, maybe even kind of raw masculinity can be such a powerful magnet. We're talking about shedding light on why a particular pattern of masculinity, the one often associated with the wolf archetype, can initially be incredibly attractive for, well, a significant segment of women. So, yeah, let's break this down. Okay, so to really get this, we need to be clear on who we're actually talking about. We all have a pretty solid image of Prince Charming, the symbol of goodness, stability, chivalry. But when we say big bad wolf, what characteristics are we truly grouping together here? It can't just be a simple label of bad, right?
That's a really crucial distinction, yeah. The wolf we're discussing isn't literally some evil individual or like a cartoon villain. It's more of a construct, a potent collection of traits that create a very specific persona. Think about characteristics like extremely high confidence, which, can sometimes verge on arrogance. Then add in a powerful social competence, often manifesting as extreme charisma, maybe even a manipulative charm sometimes. A strong sense of dominance, usually physical strength, ambition, a touch of mystery that kind of keeps you guessing, and an intense, almost primal sexuality. Those are the traits really at the heart of the wolf archetype in this conversation.
That paints a really clear picture. So it's not about being truly villainous, but about this incredibly potent mix of characteristics. A mix that, on paper, often comes with inherent risk and unpredictability. Yet this profile is frequently so captivating, even, contrary what we might consciously say we're looking for. So what are the foundational reasons? What's behind that powerful pull? Let's consider this. Is it possible our attraction to these wolf-like qualities isn't just a conscious choice? Could it be something deeply ingrained, something stemming from our ancient past? Could we actually be hardwired for this?
That's precisely where evolutionary psychology steps in,
Yeah.
especially with Charles Darwin's theory of sexual selection, and that's been expanded upon by modern psychologists like David Buss. From this perspective, certain traits in the wolf could be interpreted as these primal signals, almost subconscious cues that speak to our very early human instincts for survival and, well, propagation.
Okay, primal signals. So if we're talking about those, what exactly are we picking up on? What do these traits signal to us on that sort of ancient unconscious level?
Well, things like extreme confidence, that kind of unflappable showmanship, risk-taking, overt dominance. They're subconsciously perceived as indicators of, quote-unquote, good genes and high social status within a group. A man demonstrating these qualities historically appeared to be a capable provider, of resources and an effective protector, which in turn increased the chances of survival and reproductive success for offspring. It's a very practical, if unconscious, calculation our biology might be making.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense from a survival perspective. Totally. But I've heard there's an even more intriguing, almost meta-level theory connected to this, something about sexy sons.
Indeed, yes, that's the sexy son hypothesis. This theory suggests that females might select partners not just for their immediate ability to provide, right now, but for the genes they'll pass to their sons, making those sons more attractive to future generations.
Huh.
So the wolf, with traits like bravery, leadership, a strong physique, he could embody these desirable genes, essentially giving their offspring a distinct advantage in the future mating game. So even if consciously you're looking for stability, there might be this like ancient whisper telling you to optimize for genetic charisma for your potential children. A powerful, often hidden driver that definitely complicates our modern dating choices.
Wow, okay, so it's almost like our primal brains are running a completely separate algorithm for like short-term attraction versus long-term commitment. That's really insightful. What does the scientific evidence, like Buss's groundbreaking work, actually tell us about how these preferences play out in real-world attraction?
Buss's studies are, they're quite telling on this front. especially in his book, The Evolution of Desire. They show that across many different cultures, while women consistently value kindness, emotional stability, intelligence very highly for long-term relationships.
The solid stuff.
Exactly, those solid, enduring connections that truly make for a good partner. But for short-term mating contexts, traits like facial masculinity, musculature, social dominance, all those classic wolf attributes, they become significantly more salient, more attractive. It really seems we're wired for a kind of romantic double vision. One eye on the immediate spark, the other on the enduring flame. The trick, I suppose, is knowing which eye you're looking through at any given moment.
So, okay, beyond those deep evolutionary roots, what's happening in our individual psychology and the dynamics of social interaction? What draws us to the wolf there? It feels like there's more than just ancient programming at play in our everyday lives.
Oh, absolutely. Human psychology often responds with much greater intensity to stimuli that are variable and unpredictable. Compare that to things that are constant and secure. Think about that rush you get on a roller coaster, right? That physical arousal. If you happen to be with someone you're attracted to, your brain might mistakenly attribute some of that thrill to them. You might think, wow, I must really like this person because my heart is racing. That's exactly what Dutton and Aaron explored way back with their misattribution of arousal theory, the bridge study.
Right, the bridge study. So Prince Charming, with his reliability and, predictable kindness, might inadvertently be perceived as, well, a bit bland, a bit boring.
Precisely, yeah. The Prince Charming can represent a kind of predictability that, for some people, might feel boring in that immediate, intense physiological sense. The wolf, conversely, generates a state of uncertainty and emotional excitement. And the brain can, like we said, misinterpret that as raw attraction or passion. That thrilling uncertainty can feel like intense chemistry, even if it's really just your nervous system on high alert.
And there's definitely an element of challenge involved too, isn't there? Like a trophy effect, where the difficulty makes the prize seem more valuable.
Yes, that's a key psychological component, definitely. There's a certain potent validation that comes with securing the interest of a man perceived as difficult to obtain.
Yeah.
A challenge. Achieving a partner of high status, even if it's only socially perceived status or one who seems hard to get, can offer a much more potent personal validation. It can significantly elevate one's self-esteem. The Prince Charming, being, readily accessible and kind, doesn't always offer the same kind of social reward or like competitive thrill.
Yeah, it's almost like a badge of honor, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
I can definitely see that. And it connects to what social psychology often calls the bad boy effect, right?
Yeah.
That sort of aloofness that can just pull you in.
That's spot on. Research in social psychology really delves deep into the appeal of that bad boy archetype. This profile is often associated with a certain emotional self-sufficiency, maybe detachment. For some individuals, particularly those who tend to seek external approval, or maybe those with anxious attachment patterns, this creates a really compelling psychological loop of constantly seeking validation. That subconscious question, why don't they like me enough? What do I need to do? Can intensely amplify obsession and attraction. It makes the pursuit itself feel incredibly compelling, incredibly valuable, even if it's ultimately, unfulfilling.
Wow. So it's not just about what they offer or what we perceive them offering, but how they make us feel about ourselves and what it says about us if we can somehow win them over. That's a powerful and, sometimes pretty treacherous psychological loop, linking our own self-worth to the intensity of the chase. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Our culture is just saturated with stories, right? Ancient myths, modern blockbusters. How do movies, literature, media influence and maybe even perpetuate this whole wolf versus prince dynamic? It feels like we're constantly being fed these narratives.
Oh, the influence is absolutely immense, huge. Modern narratives through cinema, literature, just think of massive hits like Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey, or the After series. They very skillfully reinvented the big bad wolf as an anti-hero. He's no longer a pure villain, but a complex, often wounded character, intensely passionate, and crucially one who can supposedly be redeemed by the protagonist's love.
So basically, every rom-com and fantasy novel ever made, right? The classic bad boy with a hidden heart of gold, just waiting for the right woman to unlock it. It's such a powerful narrative trope. This seems to tap right into the ultimate redemption fantasy, doesn't it? It gives the woman this uniquely powerful role.
Exactly. That narrative is incredibly potent. It combines the sort of primal excitement of danger with the deeply appealing fantasy of being that unique, special woman. the one who can tame and save this deeply intense, perhaps even tortured man. It taps right into a desire for transformative love, making the individual feel extraordinary for being the one person who can unlock their true good self.
It's like a grand, dramatic story, and you get to be the hero of it.
Precisely.
And this also impacts how we perceive masculinity itself, doesn't it? Like, as if one form is inherently stronger or more desirable than another.
It definitely does. While Prince Charming can sometimes, in certain stereotypes, be associated with a more passive, maybe even perceived as weaker form of masculinity, the wolf represents a more hyperbolic, traditionally masculine ideal, an ideal that still holds significant cultural weight in terms of attraction. It's an amplified version of traits often linked to strength, power, decisive action things, still heavily valorized in many cultural contexts.
So it sounds like we're not just attracted to the character then. We're attracted to the story we can be part of, a narrative where our love is the ultimate power, capable of changing even the most formidable wolf.
It's almost like a quest, in a way.
That's a great way to put it, a quest.
So after all this exploration, evolutionary roots, psychology, culture, what does this all mean for us? For you, the listeners, are we simply programmed to chase the wolf forever, even if it might not be what we ultimately need for, long-term happiness and stability? That's a really critical question, isn't it? And it's vital here to recognize the clear distinction between initial or short-term attraction and the actual selection criteria people use for long-term commitment. They're often quite different. While the attributes of the wolf, that dominance, confidence, excitement, can indeed be incredibly powerful initial magnets, numerous studies, including those by Buss we mentioned, consistently confirm that for stable, enduring relationships, characteristics like kindness, intelligence, emotional stability, reliability, the very attributes we associate with the prince, those are consistently more valued by women. The fantasy, the initial rush, often clashes quite sharply with the reality of day-to-day life and what truly builds a lasting partnership.
That's a really important reality check. So this isn't some kind of universal, rigid rule then. Our preferences aren't monolithic. It's not as simple as everyone just wanting one or the other. We're far too complex for that, surely.
Oh, absolutely not. Preferences are incredibly diverse. They really reflect the complexity of human experience. They're profoundly modulated by individual personality, past experiences, emotional maturity, the specific life goals of each person. And those modern cultural narratives, while exciting and entertaining, can sometimes create unrealistic, even potentially damaging expectations in real-world relationships. They do this by overemphasizing that redemption fantasy and unfortunately downplaying the enduring importance of those more stable, reliable qualities. It's just crucial to differentiate between what makes for a compelling story and what actually makes for a fulfilling life partner.
Okay. We've journeyed through the evolutionary whispers, the psychological dances, the powerful cultural stories, all contributing to this complex attraction to the big bad wolf. It's truly a rich, multi-layered tapestry of influences, isn't it?
It really is. And as we conclude this deep dive, I think it's essential to consider some final reflections. Perhaps one of the greatest challenges for anyone navigating relationships is to truly recognize, when is that initial thrilling attraction to a wolf-like persona a healthy, exciting response? And when might it actually be a reflection of less healthy emotional dynamics? Or maybe insecure attachment patterns that could ultimately lead to pain or instability?
That's such a powerful point. It's not about choosing one extreme or the other, is it? We're not saying one is inherently good and the other bad for everyone. The world, and certainly love, are rarely that black and white.
Precisely. Exactly. The personal and perhaps societal challenge isn't really to simply pick between an all-wolf or all-prince partner. Instead, it's maybe about learning to identify and integrate the truly positive qualities of both archetypes. The confidence, the passion, the strength that can be found in a healthy manifestation of the wolf, combined with the empathy, the respect, the emotional stability that define the prince. A truly balanced and mature partner often possesses a thoughtful combination of these traits, don't you think?
I agree.
Fostering a deeper understanding of these psychological mechanisms can hopefully empower each of us, empower you, to make more conscious decisions in relationships. Decisions grounded in genuine respect and compatibility, not just fleeting intensity or, that initial spark.
Ultimately, the attraction to the big bad wolf is this complex dance between our evolutionary legacy, our stimulus-seeking psyche, and the captivating stories our culture tells us. Stories about love, risk, and redemption. So as you reflect on your own preferences or maybe observations of others, what blend of these archetypes do you think truly leads to lasting connection in your life or in the lives you see around you? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this exploration gives you a fresh perspective to think about.